My husband's ex died in a car crash years ago. Everyone said it was an accident, until I found her necklace in his drawer, and her voice started whispering to me at night. What I uncovered will haunt me forever. You ever have that moment where your stomach just drops and you feel like you're suddenly outside your own body? That was me, 3 nights ago, standing in my bedroom, holding a necklace in my hand, the same necklace I saw in a memorial photo from my husband's ex-fiancée. The woman who supposedly died in a tragic hiking accident 2 years before I met him. Let me back up. I've been married to Ethan for 4 years. He's charming, good with words, effortlessly likable, the kind of guy people feel lucky to know. We met through mutual friends, dated for a year, then got married. He was hesitant to open up about his past, said it was complicated, and I respected that. I wasn't going to dig up trauma he didn't want to share. He told me about her, Claire. Said they were engaged, that she died on a solo trip in the Rockies. He didn't go into detail, and I didn't press. I remember asking once, "Do you still think about her?" He answered, "Every day." So imagine my shock when I'm organizing drawers in our bedroom, looking for my spare passport, nothing dramatic, and I opened the bottom nightstand drawer he always keeps locked. He was out of town. I knew he kept a duplicate key in his sock drawer. I wasn't snooping. Okay, maybe I was. Something had fell off lately. Secretive texts, long calls where he walked out of the room, subtle shifts in his tone when I asked where he was going. Anyway, I opened the drawer, and there it is. Claire's necklace. The one with the jade pendant. I recognized it immediately because Ethan had shown me a photo of her once, and I remembered thinking how beautiful that necklace was. There was other stuff too, an envelope full of cash, a disposable phone, a printed bus ticket stub from last month, leaving a city 400 miles away. No name on it. Just fragments. I didn't know what to think. My first irrational thought? She's alive. Then I told myself that was crazy. But the longer I sat with the necklace in my hand, the less sense any of it made. Why would he have her necklace? And if she really died on that trip, why is there no death certificate anywhere online? I searched. Nothing. Last night, I finally confronted him. I didn't yell. I just held the necklace up and said, "Want to explain this?" He went dead silent. For a long time. Then he said something that chilled me to the bone. "You weren't supposed to find that." I asked, "What do you mean?" He looked me dead in the eye and said, "Claire didn't die. She disappeared, and I helped her." I sat there, stunned, gripping the necklace like it was going to anchor me to reality. "She disappeared?" I repeated. My voice didn't even sound like mine. Ethan rubbed his face and sat down on the edge of the bed like he suddenly aged 10 years. "I shouldn't have kept it from you, but I had to. For your safety." That part nearly made me laugh. My safety? From what? Claire was in trouble, he continued. Serious trouble. The kind you don't walk away from. She needed to disappear. And I helped her do it. I couldn't speak. My brain was trying to process 100 things at once. Was she in witness protection? Running from an abuser? Was Ethan involved in something criminal? He leaned forward, elbows on his knees, eyes locked on the floor. The man she was supposed to testify against. He wasn't just some local thug. He was connected. Claire saw something she wasn't supposed to, and she became a liability. The police couldn't protect her, not really. So we staged the accident. I drove her upstate, gave her new documents, money, the works. She's been off the grid ever since. I was shaking. "So you've been in contact with her?" He hesitated. "Too long. She called me last month. From a burner. Said someone might have found her. She was scared. Told me not to respond if I didn't recognize the number. She didn't want to risk me getting traced." I swallowed hard, staring at the disposable phone. "So you were still helping her?" He nodded. "I'm not with her, if that's what you're thinking. Claire and I, that ended a long time ago. I chose you, but I still care if she lives or dies." I sat down across from him. "And the money? The necklace? You kept all this here in our home. You locked it in a drawer like it was nothing. It was supposed to be safe here," he said. "I didn't think you'd ever." He trailed off. I was quiet for a long time. Then I asked the question I didn't want to ask. "Is she in danger now?" He looked at me, and for the first time in our entire marriage, I saw real fear in his eyes. "She was supposed to call me again 2 nights ago," he said quietly. "She didn't." "She didn't call?" I echoed, my throat dry. Ethan nodded, jaw clenched. Not a word. Burners off. Dead signal. Nothing. Something cold slithered down my spine. You think something's happened to her?" He didn't answer right away. "I don't know." But she was scared. She said she thought someone was following her. She didn't say who. Just that she was moving again. Laying low. And then, silence. I stared at him. "Why didn't you tell me any of this sooner?" "I was trying to protect you, Jess. The less you knew, the better." "That's not protection," I snapped. "That's secrecy. You hid a whole other life from me. I didn't want to drag you into it. But I'm already in it, aren't I?" I held up the necklace. "You kept her here. Pieces of her. In our house. And now you're telling me she might be dead again." Ethan stood abruptly and started pacing. "Look, I didn't ask for this. Claire called me out of nowhere. I thought she was long gone, living in Canada or something. But she was still in the US. She sounded different. Paranoid. Desperate. And you just agreed to help her? Like nothing had changed." He looked me in the eye. "Because I owed her. She risked everything back then. She didn't turn me in. That stopped me cold." "Turn you in? For what?" Ethan froze. His face went blank. "Nothing. It doesn't matter now." "No. Don't do that. Don't shut down on me. You said she didn't turn you in. What the hell did you do?" He sighed heavily. "She covered for me during the investigation. The night of the accident, I was the one driving. We staged it, but we didn't exactly get permission. The cops were sniffing around, and I could have gone down for obstruction. She lied to protect me." I stared at him, suddenly seeing the man I married in an entirely new light. "And now she might be dead," I whispered. "For real this time." "I don't know what to do," he admitted. "I want to find her, but I can't exactly call the cops and say, 'Hey, my supposedly dead ex might actually be alive, but missing again.'" I walked to the bedroom door, needing air, space, anything but this suffocating mess. But just as I reached for the doorknob, I heard it. A soft, deliberate knock at the front door. 3 taps. Pause. 2 more. Ethan's head snapped up. He looked pale. "That's her knock," he said. We froze. The hallway felt like it shrank, the air too still. Ethan moved first, stepping quietly down the stairs. I followed him, heart thundering in my chest. 3 taps. Pause. 2 more. The knock came again. Ethan reached the door and hesitated. I whispered, "What if it's not her?" He didn't answer. He just opened the door. And there she was. Claire. Alive. Pale, shaking, soaked from the rain. And covered in blood. "Help me," she whispered before collapsing into Ethan's arms. We rushed her inside. I grabbed towels, blankets, anything I could find while Ethan helped her to the couch. Her left hand was clutching her ribs, her breathing shallow. Blood streaked down her arm and across her shirt, but there didn't seem to be a visible wound. I crouched in front of her. "Claire, what happened? Who did this?" She looked at me like she was seeing a ghost. "You're Jessica," she whispered. "You opened the drawer." I blinked. "What? How do you know that?" She didn't answer. Her eyes darted toward Ethan. "You shouldn't have kept the necklace," she hissed. "They must have tracked it." Ethan leaned in. "Who tracked it?" Claire coughed, and for a second, I thought she might pass out again. But then she said, "They found me. The people I ran from. I thought I was safe, but they found me in Detroit. I ran. I've been running ever since. I felt like I was underwater." "Who are they?" "Claire, what are you talking about?" She looked directly at me, her voice low. "Your husband never told you the full truth, did he?" Ethan stepped back. "Claire, don't." She ignored him. "That accident we staged, it wasn't just to fake my death. It was to escape." Ethan made enemies. Dangerous ones. He stole something. My mouth went dry. I looked at Ethan. "What did you do?" He didn't deny it. Claire leaned forward. "And now they think I'm leverage." The room spun. I realized, in that moment, I didn't know my husband at all. And the woman bleeding on my couch wasn't just a ghost from his past. She was the only one who knew what was coming. We moved Claire to the guest room. Ethan barely said a word as I helped clean her up, his face pale and unreadable. Once she was asleep, I cornered him in the hallway. "You have exactly 1 chance," I said. "Tell me what the hell is going on. All of it." He sat down on the stairs and rubbed his face. "I didn't steal anything," he said quietly. "But I knew someone who did. And I didn't stop him. I waited." He took a breath. "Back in New York, I worked for a guy named Marcus Loring. Ran a boutique investment firm. Only it was a front, laundering money for some very dangerous people. I found out what he was doing. I confronted him. Claire was the one who convinced me to blow the whistle. You were going to go to the police? We did. But Marcus disappeared before we could testify. And then, strange things started happening. Our car brakes were cut. Someone followed Claire home one night. We were being watched. That's when we decided to fake her death. To disappear. I sent her to Canada. I changed my name. Got a new job. A new life. He looked up at me. You. And the necklace? It was hers. She gave it to me the night she left. I kept it because I thought she was really gone. I didn't know they'd find her. I didn't know. We heard a crash from the guest room. I ran in. Claire was gone. The window was open. The sheets were soaked with blood. Ethan rushed in behind me. She ran. Damn it. She ran. Why would she leave like that? She was hurt. He looked around, eyes wild. Because they're not after her anymore. And that's when I noticed something on the windowsill. A small scrap of paper. One word. Run. We didn't sleep that night. Ethan double-checked the locks. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the scrap of paper over and over again. Run. Written in quick, shaky handwriting with a smear of blood on the corner. She's warning us, I whispered. Or luring us out, Ethan said, pacing. The next morning, I drove straight to the hospital where Ethan said he'd taken Claire before. I needed to confirm her story. The ER nurse at the desk looked confused when I asked about a woman with a stab wound from a few days ago. Nope. No record of any woman under that name, or that injury, she said. Are you sure she was treated here? I was. Ethan had said so. Back home, I confronted him again. She was never treated at the hospital, was she? He didn't even try to lie. She refused to go. Said it was safer if no one had a record of her being alive. Ethan, do you hear how insane this sounds? We're in deep. He stepped closer, desperate. I swear to you, I'm not the bad guy here. But we're not safe anymore. That night, we heard the first knock. 3 short, precise taps at 2:11 a.m. We both froze. He grabbed my hand, and we tiptoed to the front door. Nobody. But on the porch, taped to the railing, was an envelope. Inside, a photo. Claire. Sitting in our guest room. Bandaged. Looking directly at the camera. And scribbled in black marker underneath. She never left. I dropped the photo. It fluttered to the floor like a dead leaf, face up, Claire's eyes still staring through me. She never left? I whispered. Ethan, what the hell does that mean? He picked it up, pale and shaking. This isn't possible. I swear, she left that morning. I helped her into the car myself. She was gone. But this photo, I pointed to the bedspread in the shot. That's our guest room. That's from a week ago. That's after you said she left. His jaw clenched. He didn't respond. Ethan, answer me. Was she here longer than you told me? Did she never actually leave? I don't know anymore, he stammered. Maybe she came back when we weren't home? Maybe someone's playing a sick joke on us. Stop. Lying. He sank into the couch, head in his hands. I tried to help her. I really did. But she was spiraling. She started saying things I didn't understand. That someone was watching her. That if she left the house, she'd die. My blood ran cold. I turned and looked around the living room. Was someone still here? I pulled my phone out and went to check the security cameras. Except, the feed was blank. No recordings for the last 5 days. Just static. Why is it all gone? I asked, heart thudding. Ethan blinked. I didn't delete anything. We both turned to the hallway at the same time. A faint click echoed. Our bedroom door had just shut itself. No windows open. No breeze. It had shut. All on its own. We didn't speak. We just stared at the bedroom door. It had shut so softly, so deliberately, like someone knew we were watching. My chest tightened with a feeling I hadn't had since I was a child. Pure, paralyzing fear. Ethan stood slowly, and for the first time since I met him, I saw genuine terror in his eyes. I'm calling the police, I whispered, grabbing my phone. He didn't stop me. That's how I knew he was scared too. But as soon as I unlocked it, my screen froze, just lines of static, like an old TV. Then it shut off completely. Dead. No response. Ethan tried his. Same thing. I swear it was charged this morning, he muttered, smacking the back of it like that would help. And then the softest creak. From inside the bedroom. Like someone sitting down on the edge of our bed. I stepped backward. Ethan, What the hell is happening? He didn't answer. He walked toward the bedroom slowly, each step like it weighed 100 pounds. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. But I followed him. He reached for the doorknob, his hand trembling. When he opened the door, the room was empty. Or, it looked empty. Except, the bedspread had a clear indentation, right where someone would sit. And on the nightstand? Claire's necklace. No longer hidden. Now perfectly laid out, glittering like it had just been polished. But the worst part? Next to the necklace was a single piece of paper. It was torn from one of our notepads, in delicate, curling script. You lied to her too. Ethan stared at the note, like it was radioactive. I couldn't move, couldn't speak. My eyes flicked between him, the necklace, the indentation on the bed that was already fading, and that handwriting. It wasn't mine. It wasn't his. It was hers. Claire's. I'd seen her handwriting once before. When Ethan and I were cleaning out the garage last year, I found an old Christmas card wedged behind a box labeled Books, Don't Open. The card said to my Ethan, "Always yours, Claire." Same script. Same soft cursive loops. I remembered it because it didn't look like the way anyone wrote anymore. I whispered, "Ethan, you need to tell me what's going on. Right now. No more stalling. No more half-truths. I don't care how insane it sounds." He ran both hands through his hair. Then he sat down, right on the indentation, like it didn't even scare him. She didn't die in the car crash. My heart nearly stopped. What? She was in the car crash. But it didn't kill her. Not right away. She survived for about 12 more hours. I didn't understand. But why did you say she died at the scene? Why lie? He looked at me. Something ancient and ashamed in his eyes. Because of what happened in those 12 hours. Silence. I waited. He didn't go on. You said the car spun out. That it was raining. That she crashed and... He cut me off. I was in the car, too. I stared at him. My stomach flipped. I was following her. I just found out she cheated on me. I wasn't thinking straight. I just wanted to talk to her. Confront her. We ended up screaming on the phone while she was driving. I begged her to pull over. She wouldn't. She sped up. He swallowed. His face had gone completely pale. She lost control. I saw the whole thing. She hit the guardrail and flipped into the ditch. I ran down to her, and she was still breathing, still awake. The silence in the room was unbearable. She told me she was sorry. She said she loved me. She begged me not to leave her there. But he looked down at his hands. I left. You what? I panicked. I thought if I stayed, they'd know I was following her. They'd blame me. So You let her die alone? I choked out. He nodded slowly. I told the cops I was home. I even used an old text to make it look like I hadn't seen her in days. They believed me. The rain washed away everything else, and no one ever questioned it. I was numb. My husband had watched someone die, his ex, the woman whose necklace was now somehow back on our nightstand. Then who wrote the note? I asked, barely breathing. Ethan looked at me. I don't think Claire's done with me. I couldn't sleep. Not with that note on the dresser. Not with Ethan's confession echoing in my head like a slow, dripping faucet in the dark. I don't think Claire's done with me. What the hell did that mean? I left the note exactly where it was, untouched. Ethan didn't try to take it or hide it. In fact, he seemed resigned to it being there. Like he expected it. Like he'd been waiting. Around 3:40 a.m., I heard him pacing the hallway. Quiet, slow footsteps. Like he was trying not to wake me. But I was already awake, lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to every board creak under his weight. Then I heard him open the basement door. The same basement where I found the box of Claire's things last week. The one labeled holiday decor in black marker, where I discovered photos, old journals, and the same necklace now sitting upstairs. I got up, barefoot, heart racing. I tiptoed down the hallway and looked over the railing. He was just standing at the bottom of the basement steps, staring into the darkness. The light was off. He hadn't brought his phone or a flashlight. He wasn't even holding anything. He was whispering. Low. Raspy. Repetitive. I couldn't make it out at first. I slowly crept down a few stairs. Just enough to hear. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Over and over. Like a prayer. Like a curse. Then silence. And then a second voice. A woman's voice. You left me. I nearly fell down the stairs. I gripped the railing so tight my fingers cramped. I waited for Ethan to respond. Waited for him to say something, anything, to indicate I just imagined it. But he didn't speak. He didn't move. Then he laughed. Not loud. Not hysterical. Just hollow. Like someone who realized too late that a joke wasn't funny at all. I turned and ran back up the stairs and into bed. I pretended to be asleep when he came back up 15 minutes later. I heard the closet door open. I heard him sit on the edge of the bed and slowly undress. Then he slid under the covers next to me. He smelled like cold dirt. I barely slept. I kept the note. I took a picture of it with my phone and locked the physical copy in my desk drawer. I don't trust him not to make it disappear. This morning, I finally opened the journal I found in that basement box. Claire's journal. It's filled with daily entries. Most are typical breakup ramblings, anger, grief, confusion. But then the tone shifts. She starts writing about someone watching her, following her car, her phone ringing but no one there, a parked black truck that kept showing up near her apartment. One entry hit me like a punch to the chest. If something happens to me, it's not an accident. I think Ethan is losing control. He gets weird when he thinks I'm lying. He said I'll regret it if I make him look stupid. I'm scared. It's dated 3 days before the crash. I don't know what I'm living with. I don't know what's real anymore. But I swear to God, if Claire is haunting this house, it's not just to punish Ethan. She wants me to know the truth. And I'm starting to think he never told me all of it. The journal. The note. The whisper in the basement. The smell of dirt on my husband's skin. Everything finally added up, and I couldn't unsee it. I copied Claire's final entries. Word for word. Then I did what I should have done weeks ago. I took them to the police. At first, they were dismissive. An old crash. A grieving widow. A paranoid wife. But the detective, a woman named Rosa, maybe mid-40s, looked me in the eye and said, "We never ruled it suspicious, but we also never closed the door." That was enough for me. While they reopened the case, I played the part, the loving, slightly rattled wife. I kissed Ethan goodnight. I acted confused when things went missing, like the journal, which disappeared from my locked drawer one night. I said nothing when I found fresh soil in the laundry room. I stayed quiet when I discovered he'd placed the necklace back in my jewelry box, almost like he wanted me to wear it again. But I had one final card to play. I invited Ethan's sister, Jenna, over for dinner. She's the only person he truly lets his guard down around. Over dessert, I casually said, "It's crazy what people are saying online about Claire's crash. Some are convinced it wasn't an accident." Jenna's fork paused midair. Ethan didn't blink. Then I dropped it. "One theory says someone tampered with her brakes." He laughed. Loud. Too loud. "People will believe anything," he said. But his hand was shaking around his glass. That night, I found a voicemail on my burner phone. A number I never gave anyone. It was a woman's voice. Static. Warped. But clear enough. He cut the line. He cut the brake line. I dropped the phone. The police called the next day. They'd recovered Claire's car from impound for re-examination. The new mechanic report confirmed it. The brake line had been cut, and the cut had been made with the same model of utility knife I found in our garage drawer, the one Ethan swore he hadn't used in years. They arrested him a week later. He didn't resist. He didn't ask why. And when he looked at me before they took him away, he actually smiled. Like he knew something I didn't. The trial will take months, maybe longer. But I've left the house. I'm staying in a small rental out of town. I haven't seen or heard anything unnatural since I left. But sometimes, when I close my eyes, I still hear her voice. Not angry. Not sad. Just tired. Thank you. For finding the truth. For seeing her. For finally making sure she didn't vanish in silence. So if you're reading this, if someone you love has secrets buried under charm and politeness and normal, don't ignore the whisper in your gut. Because sometimes ghosts don't come back for revenge. Sometimes they come back to be believed.